We'll bring the meeting to order. Welcome board members, staff, appellants, and citizens to the September 13th Board of Zoning Appeals meeting of the City of Mishawaka. First, I'll introduce the staff. In the back, we have Ken Prince, our Executive Director. To my right, we have Krista Hill, our Senior Planner. Next to her, Shad Annis, our Associate Planner. Carrie Myers, Administrative Planner. And then to my left, we have Derek Spear, a City Planner, and David Bent, our Legal Counsel. Carrie, would you please call for the roll?
Larry Stilson?
Yes.
Michael Portelis?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes,
Denise Graves?
Yes.
Joel Dendu?
Yes.
and the attendance passes. Rules of procedure are up to my left. So first, we'll hear a presentation by the appellant. For each item, we will ask those participating in the room to speak first, followed by those participating online. And then we'll hear for those to wish to speak in favor of the appeal, and then those who wish to speak against the appeal after that. If you just have general questions, you don't know whether you're speaking for or against the appeal, I'd suggest you come up during the speak against the appeal. Then what we'll do is we'll accumulate all of our questions. We'll have the appellate come up and do a right of rebuttal where they answer all of the questions that we have. Then we'll close the public hearing. When the public hearing's closed, it's only a discussion with us back here and any questions that we have. So you'll hear me close that public section. Then we'll have a board discussion and a board vote. The previous minutes were handed out to everybody on the board. Was there any corrections or additions to the minutes?
No.
Okay, all those in favor of passing those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the previous minutes pass. Is there a conflict of interest with anybody on the board tonight for any of the items on the agenda?
No.
Nope. Hearing none, we'll get right into the first item. The first item is an appeal, 22-30. An appeal submitted by Les E. and Nicole H. Crooks requesting a developmental variance for 3409 Greenwood Drive to allow an oversized accessory structure. Hello, name and address for the
Welcome.
record.
Les Crooks, 3409 Greenwood Drive.
Okay, tell us about your appeal.
So I had a fire in my shop this summer, and as you can see, it's in the bottom. Oh, there's a picture. So it's a wood shop, personal wood shop that I have, and I want to add 12 feet to the right of that foundation that's right there. Yeah, there's a stake right there. You can see that little white line. Yep, right there. 12, and it's adding 12 feet by 32 feet. The length of the building is 32 feet. So it'll make the whole structure 32 by 34, 36 by 34, 32. 1,088 square feet total.
And what's the garage going to be used for?
Wood shop.
A
Yep.
wood shop.
Yeah, I gotta.
You're not going to have vehicles come in and out?
Oh no, no way. I specifically don't do an overhead door because I don't want anything driven in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Has any of this been built yet?
No, nope. Just
Question?
foundation left over from the fire.
Questions for Mr. Crooks? Anybody else?
No.
Hold on. We'll get to you. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is there any, well, is this speaking for the appeal?
No.
Okay, hold on. First, we're going to hear from anybody else in the room that wishes to speak in favor of Appeal 22-30, in the room or online. Hearing none, then we'll move to those in the room or online that wish to speak against the appeal or have questions. Please come to the podium, name and address. Yep, you're up.
Okay, my name is Rod Shields. I live directly behind Mr. Crooks at 144 Hackberry. I have the largest amount of frontage against his lot. We're separated by a ditch. I don't even know what the name, Woodward ditch, something? What's that? Woodward. Yeah. Good. Mine is just questions.
Sure.
Now, I notice he wants to expand it 12 feet to the south? To the north? Closer to the house?
Yeah, one of the things we need to do is we'll have him ask the questions, and then the problem is nobody can hear you if you're not on a microphone.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
so-
I wasn't
so-
aware.
Yeah, so you're fine, you're fine. Just pose the questions. We'll keep a list
Okay.
and have Mr. Crooks come up afterwards and he can address.
All right, I can see that now. Yeah, my question basically, like I said, was the size. I know he doesn't, it's listed as an outbuilding or something, but like he said, he doesn't have a garage door. So that makes he's got one way in, one way out. I'm a little concerned about that with a building that size. You know, if you get trapped in there, you got to get out that service door. That's it. The other thing I'm curious, as far as will the building have electric and will it have water? You know, supplied to the building. You know, I'm sure he runs a wood shop, I guess. The other thing is prior, it seems as though there was a shed dormer on the south side that was added to that. And it appears to be that's where the fire started in that area. And I just wondered if that, was that actually under a permit at the time, or was that just added on overnight? I don't know. Now, I gotta say, a lot of what goes on with Mr. Crook and that house, as far as I know, that house was built under a trades program through PHM. And I know Mr. Crook is part of PHM, my understanding was. And I just want to know how he was able to build an outbuilding when the covenants of the property originally called for no outbuildings that were not attached to that house. Not just a question. I don't know how it happened. Yeah, give me a little background on myself. A lot of the things that happened during the building and all that, I spent from 2009 to 2014 overseas. I was deployed with the U.S. military in both Iraq and Afghanistan. I did multiple tours, and when I wasn't with the military, I worked as a contractor. So I spent 7.5 years between Iraq and Afghanistan. So a lot of this happened when I wasn't available. You know, my wife, she just would look out, and she can't remember what happened yesterday. So that's why I don't know a lot of this, but I was curious. And I have no problem with him building a wood shop, I really don't. But I'd really like to know, is it a single floor? Is he gonna have some type of an attic for storage or for use? Or, so the square footage is gonna be over obviously 720 square feet. So I just wanted to kind of know what kind of building and how it's going to be laid out as far as electric, water, and access. I mean, do you just walk across the grass to this thing? I mean, he's never had a drive or a access to it that I know of other than the yard. So, but since that door's on the outside, the east side, I can't see anything because I'm on the west side. So I just was kind of curious,
Sure.
that's all.
Well,
And the other thing I have is, I have only one lung. I had a lung taken out in 2016 for a multitude of reasons, obviously. But I just want to make sure that we don't do too much in the way of anything that may affect my health, like burning or something like that. You know, I know that's a different subject, but like I say, when it comes to a wood shop, what do you do with the wood? So,
Okay.
anyway, that's basically all I have.
well, first off, I want to thank you for your service.
Indeed, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And then we'll have him address all of these
Sure.
questions here in the rebuttal. And we do need to keep the topic limited to
Right,
just
to the
just
building.
the oversight structure, what we're
Right.
voting on tonight, rather than the other things.
Right, I have no problem. I've never had a problem, Mr.
Okay.
Clark.
Well, hey, thank you, Mr. Shields. I really appreciate you coming up.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the room or online wishing to speak against the appeal 22-30? Okay, Mr. Crooks, right of rebuttal. We'll have you answer. I have about 6 questions here. I'll check them off as you go.
Sure.
One, can you just verify the size?
Yeah,
What's
so
one
it'd
about?
be 36 by 32.
Single floor?
Single floor.
No
open-
attic?
No attic. It's open truss or vaulted truss in the space.
Okay. And then
No mezzanine or anything in it.
in and out, how are you getting in and out of the structure?
I'll have this time I'll put a bifold, a 6-foot bifold door in there.
Got it. Electric, water?
Electric, no water.
Driveway access?
Nope. Walk through the yard.
Okay. Are you going to be burning anything?
No. It's
Excellent.
gas heat.
Board members, any other questions for Mr. Crooks?
I'm just curious, the purpose of your wood shop, personal use, or what? do you-
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's a pretty large area.
Well, I have a lot of equipment. And one of the major reasons to add the 12 feet is I have a CNC router, which right now is 2 foot by 4 foot, and I want to get an 4 by 8 machine, which ends up taking about 8 by 10 square feet. So I'd like to have that for the space for that.
Okay, and what do you make? Is it, are you, like,
See that thing behind you there?
yeah,
Stuff like that.
okay.
Yeah, that's primarily what it is. Signs, plaques, things like that.
Operating as a business?
No. Well, I do sell some of the stuff, but just personal stuff. National Park Service signs, yeah, but no business.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Any remonstrance letters?
No letters.
No letters, okay. This closes the public hearing. Any board discussion or questions on this? If not, then I will take a motion on Appeal 22-30.
I move for approval of Appeal 22-30.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stilson,
Yes.
Michael Portlees,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes?
Denise Graves. Yes. Joel Dundu.
Yes.
And Appeal 22-30 passes unanimously. Thank you. This brings us to the next item, which is Appeal 22-31, an appeal submitted by Farhat Sheikh and Hanan Sheikh requesting a developmental variance for 1568 East Edgar Avenue to allow a privacy fence with a 2-foot exterior side yard setback. Hi,
Yes, I want to put up the,
ma'am, could we get your name and address for the
yeah,
record?
my name is Farad Sheikh, and address is 1568 East Edgar Avenue, Mishwaka, Indiana, 46545.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Tell us about your appeal.
Yeah, I want to put up the privacy fence, 6 feet tall with 2 feet exterior from side yard, total of 4 feet from the sidewalk, and with the 8 feet cut on the corner from the alley, and 4.5 feet from the alley. So this privacy fence will give, not only give me the privacy, but also secure my yard and property, since I am experiencing some break-ins in my backyard, so that's why I want to secure this.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Any questions for Ms. Sheik?
Your shrubbery will be inside your fence?
Yes,
Okay.
and this request is almost identical to a variance that is recently approved in my neighborhood.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anybody else in the room or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-31? Is there anybody in the room wishing to speak against Appeal 22-31? In the chamber room or online? Hearing none, is there any letters? or anything?
No letters.
Okay, this closes the public hearing, and any board discussion on this? If not, I will take a motion on Appeal 22-32. No, I'm sorry, 31. 22-31.
I make a motion that we accept appeal number 22-31.
Second.
First and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Michael Portlees,
Yes.
Chris Hardy,
Yes.
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Joel Dundu.
Yes.
And Appeal 22-31 passes unanimously. This brings us to the next item on the agenda, Appeal 22-32. An appeal submitted by Ardmore LaSalle Church of Christ, Inc., requesting a developmental variance for 1009 Laurel Street to allow a 2-foot front yard setback for new front deck and stairs. Hello.
Hi, my name is Hardy Blake, and I'm the pastor of the Ardmore LaSalle Church of Christ in South Bend. And we had at 1009 Laurel Street, the deck there that's being put up over the top of some concrete steps which were sinking down in the ground. And our insurance company said that we had to put some rails on the side, handrails on the side of that concrete. And I tried to do it myself, but it didn't work out too good. Just couldn't get them to stick to the sides. But one of the brothers in the church knew how to build a deck, and so we started building the deck, and we didn't know that we was violating any variances or any of that sort of stuff until somebody from the city came and told us that we had to get a variance to complete it. But the insurance company had given us a second notice and said that, we're gonna cancel your insurance if you don't get it done. But, so we stopped, and that's why we're gonna get a variance to continue to, put it up.
So the person that did this was, you feel it was professionally done, right?
Yeah, the brother knew what he's doing.
Okay, great. And I see you have an approval recommendation. Is there any other questions for Mr. Blake? Nope, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else in the council chambers or online that wish to speak in favor of Appeal 22-32? Hearing none, is there anybody in the council chambers or online wishing to speak against Appeal 22-32? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. There's no additional information. Is there any questions from the board members?
No.
Nope, then I'll take a motion.
Make a motion that we approve Appeal 22-32.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Mike Portlees,
Yes.
Chris Hardy,
Yes.
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Joel Dundu.
Yes.
And Appeal 22-32 passes unanimously. Brings us to the next item on the agenda, Appeal 22-33. An appeal submitted by F&C Mishawaka Developmental LLC requesting a sign variance for 235 Ironworks Avenue, Suite C, D, and E to allow a sign to project above a canopy.
Good evening, Douglas Merritt with U.S. Sign Crafters, address 2319 Lincoln Way East, Mishawaka. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come forward. What I'd like to find out is if we could respectfully seek a variance to allow for channel letters to be mounted directly above the projecting canopy and off of the actual facade wall. And they are 16-inch channel letters. They are internally illuminated, and they read Sun King Brewery. And I'd be happy to field any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
I don't.
No, thank you. Is there anybody else in the room that wish to speak in favor of 22-33, in the room or online? Hearing none, is there anybody in the council chambers room or online wishing to speak against Appeal 22-33? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. There's no other information or
None.
discussion?
Nope.
Then I'll call for a motion on 22-33.
Move that we approve Appeal 22-33.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stilson,
Yes.
Mike Portala's,
Yes.
Chris Torres,
Yes?
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Joel Tendu.
Yes.
And we are on a roll. Brings us to the next item, Appeal 22-34. An appeal submitted by Jeremy Brogdon requesting a developmental variance for 1404 Union Street to allow a 1-foot front yard setback for new front stairs. Is there somebody here to present this appeal?
Tim Calderoni, 438 North Mason Street, Mishawaka. Speaking on behalf of Jeremy Brogdon on the appeal. The steps that were there previously were concrete in nature, and they were falling apart, thankfully, to our lovely winters here in Mishawaka, Indiana. And unfortunately, those stairs were hollow-formed, like trailer park kind of stairs. I don't know how else to describe them. And they had been there quite a long time. Jeremy purchased the property about 5 years ago, I think it was. And so during that time, he's been renovating and trying to fix it up. Those stairs, unfortunately, had gotten to the point of such bad state that they were about to fall in. So he demolished the stairs and replaced those with wood stairs. And that is what brings us here today, is I believe the change in material is the issue. Because these stairs are actually about a foot farther from the sidewalk than the concrete stairs were. So it actually picked up a foot of room from the street and the stairs. So Union Street is a pretty, when they widened that area years ago, it did get fairly close to the houses along there, and unfortunately Jeremy's house is probably one of the closest along that stretch. So we do come here asking for a variance to use the wooden steps versus the concrete steps a foot away.
Yeah, you were pretty limited in what you could do.
It was very tight.
Questions for Mr. Calderoni? None, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the room or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-34?
Hi there, my name is Courtney Hensel, and I would like to speak in favor for this appeal.
Great. Tell us a little bit about it.
So we know Jeremy personally. Both my husband and myself, we live on 801 West 9th Street in Mishawaka. And we can attest to what that gentleman just said about the stairs that were there before and the quality of the stuff that has been there at that house, and that these stairs are a much better improvement, and are a lot safer for individuals going out of the house.
Great. Carrie, did you get her name and address for the record?
I got the address and her first name. I didn't catch
Okay.
her last name.
Could you repeat your name and full name and address for the record?
Yeah, Courtney Hensel, and it's 801 West 9th Street in Mishawaka.
Got it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your input.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else online that wishes to speak in favor of Appeal 22-34? Hearing none, is there anybody in the room that wishes to speak against Appeal 22-34? Or online against 22-34? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. If there's no further information, Mr. Spear, or any discussions, board members, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion, we approve 22-34.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stilson,
Yes.
Mike Portala's,
Yes.
Chris Torres,
Yes,
Denise Graves.
Yes.
Joel Tendu.
Yes.
and Appeal 22-34 passes unanimously. Moving on to the next item, we have Appeal 22-35, an appeal submitted by JNHL LLC requesting a developmental variance for 1917 North Merfield Avenue to allow a reduction in the number of parking spaces for a proposed swim school. Hi.
Hi, I'm Marcy Harmon. We are the intended buyers for the property at 1917 North Merrifield Avenue. And we're having to request a downsize of the parking spaces because based off the square footage of the building, we're supposed to have about 25 spots, but there's not room on that property for that many spots. There's only gonna be room for 13, and that includes one handicap spot. So we're just asking for a variance to be approved for just the 13 spots versus the 25.
Great. Sounds like you've been working with the planning staff, and they have your approval. I appreciate all of that
Yeah.
work. Is there any questions for Ms. Harmon?
How many people or children, whatever, do you anticipate participating in your classes at one time?
There's only 2 instructors, so each instructor only has 1 child at a time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So you're not looking at 10 or 12 people in the pool, or, you know?
No, it's and 1 instructor, 1 child, and each lesson's only 15 minutes long.
Okay,
So they're in and out, and it's just, we have to account for the child in the water, the next child's coming, so that's gonna be 2 cars in the parking lot. And then if, per instructor, so that could be 4 cars, at a time. And then if another one comes, if the next one comes, the first family's still not gone, that's where we would have potentially 3 cars per instructor at one time could be in the parking lot, but they're always moving.
so you don't anticipate a need for parking on the street or around the corner or whatever the case may be?
No.
Okay, all right.
I did note in here that you had commented that you've talked to the State Farm Agency about employee parking.
Yeah,
And my concern there is just safety. That's diagonal for you, right? Across?
Right.
that? Yeah.
yeah. And that would just be for the couple employees, myself and the other instructor. And we would be able to base that off of how busy our day was gonna be.
Okay.
If we know it's not gonna be busy, we may not have to use it.
Yeah.
So it would just, I feel like maybe be in the summertime when we're very busy.
Sure.
But not so much here, like in the fall, winter, early spring and stuff. So
Sure.
I don't intend to have to use it often, but
Good. Yeah.
So besides the instructors, is there any other staffing there at the building at the time?
not currently. We might have to bring someone in just for safety reasons because of where we would have to put the pool versus the front door of the building. We might have to have somebody at the front desk, but we don't know that yet.
Okay, thank you.
No more questions. Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there anybody else in the room that wish to speak in favor of Appeal 22-35? Hi. We'll do one at a time.
Hi, I'm Steve Weldy with Wycott Realtors, and I represent the sellers in this transaction. They had a successful cleaning business for a number of years there, and after COVID, they just couldn't get staffing to service the jobs that the clients that wanted to use them, so they had to close the business, and they would be extremely happy to see the property used in this way.
Nice. Great feedback. Thanks, Mr. Weldy. Hi, come on up.
I'm Marcia Wiseman, and my husband Don and I live at 1950 North Merrifield, which is right next door to the proposed swim club. I understand why they're asking for the variance, because when the building was originally built, the addition was not there. So there was room for more cars. And now with the addition, there is not, but I approve of their request. I'm very excited about their program.
Oh, great. Thank you for
comments.
coming up. It's so nice to have people that come up in support of something. We don't always get that, so thank you, Mrs. Weissman. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak in favor of Appeal 22-35? Nope, nope, nope. How about against? Anybody in the room or online wishing to speak against Appeal 22-35? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. And if there's no...
We do have a letter.
We do have a letter, all
Yes,
right.
we have one letter of remonstrance. It says, "I live at 1822 Margaret Avenue, and I am not in support of this developmental variance in reducing the parking lot to add a pool. Merrifield in front of this location is tight already. If this is approved during business hours, cars will be parked up and down Merrifield and Cedar, down Alex Way, impeding traffic and right-of-ways. Unless no parking signs are installed on the Merrifield and Alex Way, I foresee it being a problem. And I would also extend no parking signs to the Merrifield and Margaret Avenue intersections. Thank you for your time. Signed, Brian Hall."
Great, thank you for that. I think we covered a lot of that in the discussion. We'll, let's see, close the public hearing, and is there any board discussion? Nope, then I'll take a motion on 2235.
I make a motion to approve appeal number 22-35.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Yes. Larry Stilson?
Yes.
Mike Portelease?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Denise Graves?
Yes.
Joel Dender?
Yes.
An appeal 22-35 passes unanimously. Moving on to appeal 22-36, an appeal submitted by Annalise Bennett requesting a developmental variance for 1539 Troyer Trail to allow a privacy fence with a 2-foot exterior yard setback. Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Annalisa Bennett, 1539 Troyer Trail. And pretty much just like my neighbors in front of me and in back of me, I'm just requesting the privacy fence with the 2-foot setback side and 8-foot corner. Pretty much the same reasons. We have a lot of interesting characters kind of coming by and in the yard, and I also have animals that are quick and sneaky. When we open the door, they race on out. Sometimes it's hard to keep them from getting too close to the street for my comfort. And yeah, just the privacy on the corner.
Okay, and it's not built yet, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Now, is this right? There's an 8-foot corner cut in the corner?
Yes.
Okay.
And you're good with the 8-foot corner cut, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Any other questions?
Are you installing it yourself or somebody else is installing it?
I have a friend that puts up fences, so I'm not gonna be going, I think the majority of everybody else in the neighborhood has gone through Lowe's and they contract out, but I'm not gonna go that route. I have like I said, a friend that is gonna be helping me out with putting it up.
Okay. Any other questions? Nope, thank you.
Okay.
Is there anybody else in the room or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-36? Anybody wishing to speak against Appeal 22-36? Hearing none. We'll close the public hearing. Any other information?
None.
Then I will call for a motion on 2236.
I move for approval of Appeal 22-36.
Second.
Joel. Great. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stilson?
Yes.
Mike Portelease?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Denise Graves?
Yes.
Joel Dender?
Yes.
And Appeal 22-36 passes unanimously. Brings us to the last item on the agenda, Appeal 22-37. An appeal submitted by Chelsea Kaufman requesting a developmental variance for 720 West 10th Street to allow a privacy fence with a 0-foot exterior side yard setback. Hi.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Kaufman, 720 West 10th Street. So, basically, this is already done. I used the existing fence layout, and we essentially just replaced the chain link with planks. Numerous reasons. We have corner lot, as you can see, pretty tiny yard, very limited as far as privacy goes. And we have several dogs, 3 to be exact. And they, one in particular, she likes, they're all very nice, but they are very easily excited. My largest dog, Poppy, with the original fence, I'm confident that she could clear that fence with no problems whatsoever. Regardless of her being friendly, I don't want that to happen because I don't want there to just be any chance. So that was one reason why this was put up. In addition to that, with dogs comes barking. It's a pretty busy area as far as just people walking leisurely, I don't know. And the dogs would bark constantly at them, and I don't want them to be, I just wanted to be, I guess, I just wanted to reduce that. And yeah, I don't know what to say.
You did well.
You did well. Very good
Thanks,
presentation. Is there any questions for Ms. Kaufman from the board members?
Are you, they recommending, the engineering planning recommending a corner cut, and it's already, your fence is already up. Are you prepared to change the fence to allow that corner cut?
If required, absolutely. I would prefer not to, because as you stated, it's already up. But if it's required, I would abide by the requirement.
My
And-
question would be then, obviously, is the recommendation a requirement or
It
just
is a re-
simply a
it's-
recommendation?
It's more of a requirement in cases like this. Just, it's for the safety of more for pedestrians on the sidewalk, pedestrians, bicyclists, and a conflict of the garage access. So a lot of times it's the garage access and alley access is why we require that. So it's more for like I said, children, pedestrians, that kind of thing.
Okay,
And vehicles in the road too. It creates a greater line of sight for both directions.
So it will,
so you're prepared to meet that requirement?
Yes, but I do have a question. Can I ask that now?
oh, yeah.
Okay. So if you go about a block this way, I'm not good with cardinal directions, but it's that way if you're looking at this. There is another property with a fence that is essentially identical as far as proximity from the road, sidewalk, alleyway. I don't know if it's grandfathered or if it was already approved. But that would be my only argument against that requirement, because they don't have it.
Right, but every lot has a different set of circumstances.
yeah, and I
What
understand.
we're
Mhm.
voting on tonight is to approve a use variance
Mhm.
for a fence you have up.
Right.
And so we're recommending that you do this 8-foot corner cut,
Mhm.
and that's going to be expected.
Mhm.
And if that would be something that we were hoping you would agree to in order for us to pass.
No, and I'm not disagreeing. I was just
Okay.
curious more so, like you said, everyone has different circumstances. I'm not
We
necessarily
just don't know.
prying.
Maybe they didn't pull a permit. Maybe
Right.
they'll be up here doing the same thing. I mean,
Right.
You never know.
And correct, I do not know.
Okay.
But it was just an example of another that's existing. I figure it looks professionally built, so I figured they did get it approved. I wasn't sure if that was the case or not. But if required, that would be very doable. I'd much rather keep the fence, with the cut versus no fence, so
Okay.
it would be done.
And
Thank you.
this follows the line of the previous fence you had, if I
Yes,
recall you saying?
identical.
But it was chain link?
Correct.
So it had visibility through it?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to maintain, is that visibility?
Yep, that's what I've understood with my
Sure.
discussions with your lovely
Okay.
teammates, I guess, yeah. Yeah,
Okay, well, thank you for
Yeah.
agreeing.
thank
to that
you.
as well. Is there anybody else in the room or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-37?
Hi, this is Courtney Hensel again at 801 West 9th Street. We live catty corner to Chelsea, and we like the fence. We think it looks nice, and it has helped with the dogs that she's been talking about, the barking and the jumping and that kind of stuff. So we are in favor of keeping it.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate the comment.
Mhm.
We have another one in favor. Come on up.
Hi, John Baines, 721 West 10th Street. I'm directly across from the view there. Just want to support the fence. It looks really nice. Chelsea's done a great job as a neighbor, and I wish I could say that about all of our neighbors, but ever since she's moved in, her property's looked outstanding, and I expect it will continue to. So I have absolutely zero problem with the fence. As far as the cut, the width of her driveway, given the distance from the fence to the alley, I don't see, or the 9th Street, I believe. No, that's the alley. I don't see a big problem with it personally, but if that's required, then she's agreed to do that, so everything should be fine. But I strongly support the fence staying exactly as it is, with any modifications that you require, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Baines, and we really appreciate you taking your time out of your evening to come and support things
No
like
problem,
this.
and now I've got
It's
to
great.
go. I have a conflict, but,
Thank you. You picked the one that was last, too. All right, is there anybody else wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-37? Hearing none, we'll move to against. Is there anybody wishing to speak against Appeal 22-37? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. I'll look over at Mr. Spear, and then I'll ask the team if there's anything, discussions, and I will ask for a vote, or a motion.
So if we make a motion on the appeal 22-37, does it have to include that cut, correct?
It's already in the
It's in the,
recommendation.
sorry, I read my notes, I didn't read them well.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Oh,
Oh, no, we don't have a first yet.
I'm sorry, I thought.
I'm making a motion to appeal, to approve the appeal 22-37, Larry.
Now
We
I
have
can.
first.
All right, second.
First and a second. Carrie, call for the vote, please.
Larry Stillson?
Yes.
Mike Cordley?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Denise Graves?
Yes.
And Joel Dentue.
And
Yes.
Appeal 22-37 passes unanimously. Any old business?
None.
New?
As you all know, we are in the process of moving City Hall downtown into the former Liberty Mutual building. So our next meeting on October 11th will actually be downtown at our new City Hall.
Fantastic. Wow.
Are you prepared to give us directions on how to get to where we're supposed to be?
As I'll have my GPS on too to try to find the council chambers. So yes,
I
you
saw
can
the
follow me.
council, I saw the council chamber room, and I'm a little intimidated. It looks like
It's
the
much
Senate or
different than
something.
this. Yes.
Wow.
Maybe I'll get there real early so I can acclimate myself, but very much looking forward to it. It's so exciting. Privilege of the floor. Any discussion on any items not on the agenda? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torti.
I will not be at the